The transitions in spatial sense adventure that we embarked on at Redstone involved some engaging and important work. It allowed us to clarify, and it provoked a lot of discussion around how we can continue to support students to make their thinking visible, how students are continually engaged in the process of doing the work, talking about the work, but they continue to struggle with being able to show how they arrived at a particular answer and how they're able to communicate. So we continue to reflect back to our challenge of practice, and we continue to consider the impact that our work through this adventure will have on student success moving forward.
So one thing that I took away from our 4C session was really concentrating on making thinking visible. I think as teachers, we often assume that we know what our students are trying to communicate to us or have an idea of what we want them to show. So looking at this sample, these students actually used a legend to show their thinking, but they didn't use any steps like we had set out in the instructions. So when we're really looking at it, they were assuming a lot of things and making assumptions of how they move these shapes. So I think really working on transferring their oral skills of what they've conversed with their partner or the teacher needs to be really more descriptive on the paper, as well as really showing their thinking so we're not making any assumptions.
Through our time together, I found one thing very important is the importance of the diagnostic for two reasons. One, as a normative scale for a whole class. What are the generalized strengths and needs of a whole group? But also to see the individualized skill sets to create small groups later in order to target student growth in terms of compartmentalized needs in the mathematics.
During our Math Transitions Release Time and 4C's task, I realized how important teacher prompting could be while leading students through a new activity. The better the prompts, the better the students' responses were. Having pre-thought out these prompts really helped evoke deeper thinking in our students.
Another great thing that happened in the 4Cs was the exit ticket that we created for the grade 6 task. It was a Google form, and they had the opportunity to talk about what they really liked from the task. And you could really see that they were showing good growth mindset. They were really excited about working in partners, they were really engaged, and they gave us great feedback about how they were excited about the concept and the unit.
One thing that was made very aware to me is the importance of the continuum on the curriculum. One thing that I had realized is the awareness for the needs going forwards into the following grade, but also some of the difficulties or the pitfalls from the previous grade, students that are already coming in with some things that they haven't quite mastered yet and might need a little bit more time to continue to work on.
This task also made me more mindful of the expected curriculum expectations for the students, both before and after the grade I currently teach. With transitions in mind, I feel we could all benefit from more frequent looks at the curriculum and having time at the end of the year to sit down with teachers and grades, both before and after the ones I teach, to see what they covered to ensure more consistency for students in math.
Another thing I enjoyed about participating in the 4Cs was the opportunity to work with my colleagues to help students bridge their understanding of math concepts. This process, I felt, really helped build my understanding of the skills and knowledge that the students are bringing into grade 6 and how I could help prep them for grade 7. One thing I enjoyed about participating in the 4Cs was the opportunity to look at student work with my colleagues. I felt that it helped me build consistency in the way that I will be assessing my students' work objectively.
A second piece of our work, and a very important piece, was using the student work and moderating our discussions around student work. And I think that part was really, really exciting. And it led us into directions about discussing about numeracy diagnostics that we might want to embark on in the future, about the specific language that needs to be unpacked to support students in problem solving and in responding to a question.